Magic and Me. It's your girl Tay.
Let's see.
So yeah, girl. How you been?
I've been good. I've been getting myself back in order. I was really sick in the beginning of May, so it took a lot of energy from me, and I realized that like getting into my own habits and making sure like I have to be so disciplined with that. Like I can't get out of my own habits and things like that. So I'm in the process of getting back into the gym and all that because like I had food poisoning at the end of April. Then I had like mad stuff going on in like May. Like
Yeah.
I was just down bad. But like I'm back.
You
I'm
look
feeling
good
good.
too,
Thank
girl.
you. I look good. You
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, and it really is a reminder that it's important to take care of yourself and not continuously be like, oh, later, because that's what I was doing with myself. Is I was like, oh, I'll do this later for myself. It's me, so I can wait. And like I realized that is always when I get sick. Is when I lose track of my own energy. And I'm giving it. So, because as a Virgos tend to be very giving. But we are very much like putting others' needs above our own. And that's like a natural thing for a Virgo. So,
Agreed.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's that.
I feel you on that.
How about you?
I'm good. I've been vibing.
I'm like, tell me about it.
Things have been like you said, like basically getting back into yourself, cause like when you was going through all that in the month, I was getting myself to like just help me realize I had to slow down as well, cause like basically the end of the May, I don't have I got a dog. I don't have my dog with me though, but it's with my kid's dad. But I had to go get her because his stuff, like he had something happen where I had to go get her. So now I got this dog in my life on top of my kids, and even having her kind of threw me off because it was right around the time. I was like, okay, I'm doing my walking and stuff, and it's like
it's so funny is because like you'd anticipate to want to walk more with the dog, but you actually want to walk less. A lot of people I know, they're like, because then you have to walk with like doo-doo bags, and then you have to like walk at their pace, not your own pace.
Exactly.
It's like
and then I gotta carry extra stuff, like it get hot, so I gotta have water on. I have to prep her to go outside because we're walking on gravel and stuff. So I gotta make sure her feet not burning and like nope. And I was like, okay, so that has been happening, but also just kind of like tending to what I need to tend to. Also, kind of getting back into the groove of like knowing, because I don't know about you, but for me, when June comes, it's shut down mode. Like kids about to come out of school.
Yeah, because kids are about to come out of school. You got to make sure you figure out what they're going to be doing for the summer, what they're going to be eating for the summer, like who's going to be watching them. Like, it's a whole different ball game. And it's also like, on a spiritual note, like summer is the beginning. It's like the beginning of summer. So it's like actually summer solstice. So like also integrating those things that are needed. From our spiritual center, like femininity and like power and looking at yourself in a like the Hathor way, like like your femininity, your power, your sensuality. It's like, but it's also about really like having creative energy too. So like all this stuff that you focused on like in winter, and then it started to grow. Now it's actually the admiration time, right? Like the summer is like the admiration, the enjoyment of what you've put together, but it's also pre-preparation for autumn. Like so it's now like we have to look at like, all right, well, this is the energy. I'm good. I'm looking. I see what I did. Look what I did here. But then at the same time, it's like, all right.
it's time to get back and start.
Autumn's gonna come just as quick as summer did. So you got to make sure that those like, and then it's also like this is the halfway mark point of the year. So it's like, what's next year? What's 2025 gonna bring? Like that's wild to even think 2025 is like right here.
And that's exactly what I've been thinking. Like it was so crazy because my son, you know, I have a wall calendar. He kept telling me, "Mommy, you need to fix it. Mommy, you need to fix it." And I didn't get on it. And because I didn't get on it, I was so unorganized the first like week. Like, you know, when June 1st hit, I just felt unorganized. But, you know, like you said, planning for the summer, that's me right now. Like, I literally said, I'm not like, I got to get, you know, I gave my kids a year to just be because it's transition year and stuff. Now, I told my son today, like, yo, you're not going to summer camp. He's like, what? I said, no, baby. Your schoolwork is not up to par. I said, if anything, I appreciate to a certain degree that they are moving him up because they see that he has the potential. But I'm like, you're going to 4th grade. You can't be this low at 4th grade. I was like, so summertime, we getting our lives right.
We getting busy.
Yep. And also he wants to do band. So the extracurricular activities, like it's basically,
and it's also planning like those extracurricular activities. What day do they fall on? You know, like who's going to be able to pick them up? Who's going to be able to and then purchasing. You know, in the beginning of the school year, my son's teacher, preschool, had given me a list, and I totaled it up. It was $300 worth of school supplies, but it was like class school supplies, which pissed me off a bit because I'm like, I mean, I get my son is going to use school supplies, but you gave the same list to every single kid in your class. So you're asking me for a full year's worth of stuff from my one kid, and you have 20 kids in this class. I just stocked up this whole classroom. I contributed to the stock of this classroom for next year's class too, because like there's
I'm not gonna front.
You know, so. Like I'm like, that's a lot of dough. Like that's a lot of money. Like how are you gonna have the audacity to ask people to come out of pocket like that? Like I understand, you know, like if you want a contribution, you know, like absolutely, you know, these teachers do a lot, but like I thought that was really quite excessive because I was like, if you're giving this whole list to every single kid in the class, I'm like us as the what happened to last year's products that those students bought because I know that they're there. There's no way that you've gone through this much.
I ain't gonna lie to you, right? So because I worked in pre-K, I'm not gonna front. I got to witness it. There is some stuff like because we got lucky, me and the teacher, because they had a lot of stuff because of the pandemic. So it was like everybody that stocked up, we still had some left. But I did have one class, I swear to everything I love, everything we had that we were stocked up with were flying. Like, we needed more. And I was like, you're kidding me. I'm like, yo, we had this much. I said, we had this much. And do you know what it is as well? There's some parents that's not going to bring nothing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because I get, like, trust me, I get
But I live up here. And
They got it.
They got it.
But you be surprised.
These other parents got it.
You be surprised though, because even the parents like down in the city, I mean, kids be having them Jordans, them fresh Jordans. And all that,
but they don't want to contribute.
And they don't want to contribute to nothing. Yeah. And it's sad because it's like when like the thing is with the pre-K, I don't know how it is up here with pre-K, but in the city, the funding is like it wasn't really funded the way it should be. And even now they're kind of I've heard that. They was thinking about, like, they taking less funds away from pre-K and 3K, which I'm like, that's crazy because that's actually the time where that's an important part of the kid's life because that's where they're learning. They're learning a lot. Like, people think, like, oh, the kids are playing. They're playing to learn because they're hands-on, they're touching, they're learning new vocabulary words. Like, you'd be surprised a lot of the things that these kids know and say is from pre-K. And that's when they're like sponges. They're taking it all in.
Right.
But no, I get it too because we do go over the list. Though we had to go over the list with like our supervisor, and they let us know like we can't ask for this. Like certain things you just can't ask for. But like we asked for wipes, wipes. What was it? Paper towels. Like not too many crazy, but like paper towels. Tissues is a definite.
I mean, tissues I get, but like I had to buy. It was like a 16-pack roll of paper towels.
16 pack.
Yeah, like a big one, like the big pack.
They pushed it.
Like, but that was like with everybody though. And then they had hand sanitizer. I had to buy the big bottles. I had to buy 2 big bottles of sanitizer.
I could see that. Only
per
because.
child. You know, 20 kids.
They could. I would say if.
That's 40 bottles of sanitizer.
For the whole year.
For the whole year, out of 32 ounces.
I want to know
that's
how many
a lot.
I'm not gonna front though. We go through for me in my classroom, and it depends how many kids you got.
20.
Oh yeah, you said 20. Ooh, dang.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a lot of kids.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of kids. Yes,
but you know what? So to be fair, because I'm not.
I know you. I know. I'm just complaining because I'm a parent, and I was like,
No, because it's the same thing. Even,
right.
Even with my oldest son, like. They ask for certain stuff, and I'm like, y'all, I could give him his own tissue, right? Like, or like, it's just certain stuff he don't use, like mad loose leaves and stuff. Like, I'm like, what does he need that for?
He needed a 24-pack of glue sticks.
No, he didn't. Yeah. No, he
like,
didn't.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. They pushed it.
That makes me wonder, do y'all not have funding?
See, they do. They do. I actually know the director very well. Like, very well I know the director. And they do have funding.
So they playing it because you're not.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm gonna say this. Let's get on the subject because
that's crazy.
Yeah, I ain't trying to put nobody out there saying anybody's doing anything. But I will say this: the director. I don't think that the director is aware of what the teachers are asking for.
Gotcha.
That's what I think, because I know the director quite personally.
Yeah. And
I said something to her, but like she kind of laughed at me, thought I was like being cheap, and I can be. I can be. I'm tight with my pockets sometimes, but I was like, girl, and she was like, oh, well, and she explained to me and she kind of laughed and I was like, but still, and she's just like, like kind of like laughed it off, but she seemed confused.
Yeah.
So I think
that's what it is.
I think they got me.
All right.
I think they got me.
And that makes sense. So yeah, and that's how it's good because it is different from up here and down to where I worked at because
No, they do have funding. I mean, absolutely, and I think that this is really personally, it's important to vote in your local elections because of this.
Yeah.
Because like this is a big part of like, getting funding and making sure that like education is, provided for and fully equipped and like have what they do. Like it's important to vote in your local elections, I believe.
Totally
you want
agree.
change, you gotta be changed.
And we don't really discuss
politics and stuff like that. Like I definitely am not a politic type person, but like best believe when the school board thing comes up, I'm in those lines because it's important because I have children that are in the school system.
And I feel like this is true no matter where you are. And the reason why I say this, and I'm gonna keep it so funky with y'all right now. Like I'm about to be so funky and real. The same way y'all use, some of y'all people, like some people use schools as the daycare centers. Y'all better go vote and do what y'all supposed to do for these schools because 3K and pre-K, if they was to take that away, you know how hard that would be.
On each parent, like that, it breaks my heart to think about the possibility of something like that. In addition to that, it's like, I know as a parent, a working parent, I need that care during those times.
Yeah.
Like that care, I rely on that care so I can provide, and that's like.
And it's basically free. Like, when I worked there, we always kind of made like a comment like, yo, some people do treat this as a daycare so that they can get time away from their kids. So if y'all want to keep having that moment, which I understand, y'all want to keep having that moment, take care of
Right.
business. Y'all got to go to these meetings, go vote locally, like do
PTA,
something.
be a part,
Yeah, be
yeah.
a part of it. Like it's a little smidge. It's a little smidge. Like do that because at the end of the day, even to have that 3K was a lot. Like don't get me wrong. I personally wouldn't want to do 3K because that is a lot for a 3-year-old to be in school for that time frame and to be away from their parents. But I do understand those that are working and need that and can't afford it. Because I was like that with my oldest son where it was difficult.
Yeah, you needed it.
Yeah, I wish. I wish I could have had 3K. However, at the same time, y'all want these things to keep going, do what y'all need to do.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah.
What was I gonna say? Also, you know, to kind of piggyback on what you were just saying, I think it's really cool that they have those programs available. Like, you know, because they are very needed, but it's like really important that we do value the not only the education system but like the teachers that are providing that, because you know, like you can send, like if you want some, like for me, like with my child's teachers, like I make sure that I give them presents, you know, like for the holiday, you know, like a thing, you know, like they give, you know, and this is something I noticed, but like they give like newsletters, you know how they give the newsletters, and they always put like the teacher's birthday on there too, like, you know, like whatever, if like whoever's birthday falls in that month, it's like, oh, it's Miss, you know, this person's birthday, you know, and then like you make sure that you follow up with a gift and be like, or a card, or you know, like, or you know, just like
recognition.
Yeah, just recognition, because you told me, because you wanted me to recognize you anyway. So unless, you know, so I think that it's important that we get in you know, more community with the people that are treating our children.
Yeah.
You know, and then also it's like, so I want to also piggyback on that too. It's like it's so important, especially when you have children with special needs, that your face is seen. You know, because like they don't like, you know, they could be treating your child any type of way, you know, and they have to know that you're with the business too. You know, like I'll be honest with my son. I noticed, you know, because like I live in a predominantly white area, and they wanted to label him as like the bad black boy, you know, like, and I was like, we're not doing that.
Nope.
You know, this is my face, get used to it, because I'm gonna be here. He has support system set up at home, open lines of communication. This is my number, this is my email, this is, you know, like, it's just, I am so connected with my child's teachers, like they reach out to me for everything now. But I could tell when he first started, they were like, oh my gosh, oh my God. And now they understand, you know, like he does have delays, and they understand him way better. And now that it's the end of the year, like he's turned a whole new leaf. So much so that like, so this is something that I was actually thinking about with my husband. He and I were both talking about what we think would be best for him, our son, because like he's going to be going into kindergarten. And we're like, oh gosh, kindergarten, is he ready? You know, because he just got to the point at the end of this year that he's ready for preschool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're thinking about holding him back another year in preschool. And then, you know, because he is young for kindergarten anyway, he'll still be 4, you know, like, you know, until the end of September. Yeah. So, you know, like, he is still young. So we're thinking about maybe holding him back another year. But, like, at the same time, those programs do cost money, because there's universal pre-K, and then there's also pre-K that you have to pay for. And since he is gonna, you know, like it's by you know, allowing them to, you know, it's our decision essentially that we would hold him back. We would probably have to pay for the childcare. So that's something like we're kind of trying to balance, because I don't want to overwhelm him, because he's also built so many great like new things for himself, that I don't want to overstimulate him by putting him into a whole brand new school, you know. But at the same time, it's like kids are resilient. So like I believe that he could do it personally. But you know, daddy's being a little bit like, oh no, I don't know, you know. So we're both kind of discussing it, and we're meeting in the middle.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised because you know, not just saying if you don't want to overwhelm him for this the beginning, they do. I don't know if up here has it, but they have like they call it self-contained. But I don't even like that because I feel like it's like you trying to like contain a kid in like this little bubble, but it's the fact that they have less kids there. So compared to like the 20.
Well, that's what they're doing. That like he's already set up to go into a 12 1-on-1.
That's
Yeah, and that's like that's what he. But like we're even worried about that. We're like, you know, I'm not really. I shouldn't say we. I'm saying we because when y'all married, you gotta agree. You gotta we it, right? But like, am I? He's my son. You know, he's my son. I know he could do anything he could do. He's my son. You know, like, because if I could do it, he could do it. You know, like, energy-wise. Like, he's got odds stacked against him. Like, we all do. We all have odds. So I don't want to say that he can't do it.
Yeah.
I do know my child, and I do know that he can be overwhelmed, but then he is also overexcited, too. Like, he every time he sees a school bus, he's like, oh, it's a school bus.
So
he wants to go.
So that might be, I was going to say this. It might be overwhelming, but more so it might be making him overly excited. So instead of him being anxious about nervous and scared, he just might be extremely excited because it's something new. And also, I think it would be good because at the end of the day,
I think it would be good.
They're always going to have to go through changes, no matter what.
You can't protect your child from change.
No.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. I've got a whole 15-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, I did this before. My husband, on the other hand, it's new to him, and I can understand that. I was like that with my daughter, too. We tripping, but... but yeah, you know, like, the thing is, you know, I was like that with her too. You know, like my daughter, I was like very, you know, like, let me make sure that, you know, and what I do see with my daughter is that actually caused her some problems. And like, I shouldn't say problems because like, she's a good girl. She's very intelligent, very smart, but she don't like change.
It's like you
because I kept things the same. And like I went out of my way to keep things the same. So I see the value of sending him.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. You know, my husband, he's like terrified, you know, like he would never admit it to me, but I know that he's doing it out of being like, oh my God, this means that, you know, because this is his only child, you know, his only child. And, you know, who knows, you know, like, I'm at the age where, you know, like, I could potentially have another child, but it's like, do I want one? Yeah. Like, do I want one at this point? You know, like, but not saying that it's off the table. It's not off the table forever, but, like, you know, right. It's, like, definitely not where we're at all. So it's like.
Son, you have, and I could see that because when you have special needs children, no matter how extreme it is or non-extreme, the fact is your focus goes to them. And to even imagine having another kid, like,
you're tired before you even finish the thought.
Exactly.
I'm exhausted. I'll be like, dang, you know, like, I can't imagine. And then also at the same time, you know, like, I love my child. I accept him with his needs, of course. Like, that's what, you know, but like, if I have another child, will they have special needs? And then I've got two with special needs. That's terrifying. Yeah. You know, like, it's also, it's I shouldn't say terrifying because there are worse things that could be. No, but like, it's like overly, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, like, what if this happens again? Yeah. You know, like, and, you know, here I am. But then at the same time, you know, like that might be the vibration that you need to grow and expand in and learn more into for yourself. Like, and I say this because one of my son's classmates, I had met her mother the other day, and she has 5 children. There's 5 children in their household, and 4 of them are special needs. Wow. And the one that's in my son's class is not. So, you know, like she knows that my son has some special needs, one of the mothers, just because, you know, like I'm sure people gossip or what. I don't know, but it's assumed, you know, like people tend to know, even though he's not. Yeah. He has like he has an invisible disability, but like his speech is delayed. So anyway, she's like, you know, oh, if you have any questions like navigating the system, you know, like this is the first year that we won't be having to navigate any special needs, you know, for our child because we have 5 and 4 of them have special needs. And I was like, and like, you know, honestly, I say this with love. Well, I say this trying not to be judgmental because I am not trying to be judgmental. And I say this with care, but like they be looking hit. Like both of they're women, you know, they're a women couple, but they be looking hit. And I'm saying like hit in the sense like they look tired, they don't look put together, you know, like and that could be just the way they are, you know, like they could just, you know, not care about their appearance as into a certain way, you know, like. But I can't say that for sure. You know, like I just see what I see and I'm observing what I'm observing, and I'm like, yo, y'all look tired and y'all ain't gonna get me. You know, like I'm like, y'all ain't gonna get me.
Listen, I was, you know, you saying this, I feel you, because honestly, when you give and I say it as this, we are people that are giving. Remember we had this talk the other day about we usually give to others. So it's like now we're in this space where we're like, because we're now starting to really give more to ourselves, it's like, yo, do I really want to give to another person? Like, do I really want to put that energy back out? Not saying like, yo, mothers, y'all know being a mom is never ending, no matter how old. It gets a little bit more like, you know, when the children get older, it becomes this point where it's like they can take care of themselves, but you still have that motherly.
You still gotta check in.
You check in and stuff.
Yeah.
However, it's like the early ages. It's like, yo, like you said, you never know, and having a child with special needs, it takes a lot, you know, to deal with. Like my son is older and I still have we had a moment the other day, like, you know, he has a very bad case of pica, and I'm checking into it. I'm doing all that I can. He started up again. We stopped him with one moment and he found another way to get that fixation in another type of product. And I'm like, I'm tired. But it's like, you know, a part of you just don't give up. You're not just going to be like, give up. Like a mother just be like, you know, I'm going to find another way. But to think about having to bring another life in that even may
could potentially be doing the same thing. It's exhausting. It's like, and then there's just one of you, and how many of them that are doing, you know, like, and I really try not to say that because to me as a mother, it does feel selfish for me to think about myself. Like, you know, as a mother, I'm like, but like, I really want to be the best mother that I could be. And I think the best mother that I can be is the one that's dedicated to where I need to be dedicated. You know?
Amen.
And
I agree.
You know, I look at my son and he forces me very much to be very selfless. Because girl, the second, I don't know what this is, but I think it's with breastfed children, and he was late breastfed. Like, I breastfed my son until 3. Don't judge, because a lot of people breastfeed later. But anyway, I breastfed him until he was 3, and he would be turning 4. Was it? Yeah, 3, turning 4. And to this day, like, I think it's because he's just so synchronized with me. So like when I wake up in the morning, I'll have my back to him because he still sleeps in my bed, and I'll open my eyes and I'm like trying to be like so quiet, and he'll be like, "Mommy," I'm like, "Why are you awake? It's 4 a.m." You know, like, and if my eyes open, his eyes open. Like we're so synced.
Yeah.
And even if like I have to get up to go to the bathroom, he feels my absence to the point where he gets up and he follows me with his eyes closed. You know, like I'm like, boy, if you don't get up out this bathroom, you know, like he's just so behind me. So like he forces me to put myself on the back burner because he, at his age, as he shouldn't, he doesn't understand that he has to be my second priority. You know, like, because I have to take care of myself so I can take care of him. He doesn't get that. He's like, you are mommy.
That's it.
And you can do anything. And that charges me up. It does. I can't front, because I'm like, yeah, I got this. I did X, Y, and Z today. Did I? And like, I get it all done. But like at the same time, it's like,
you need to slow down. You need a moment for yourself.
You do. You need a moment, because like, children not gonna offer it to you. Exactly. You know, they ain't gonna offer it to you. Like, you know, I get home and it's a rule in my house that if I get home and I sit out on the front porch before I come in the house, don't come out to the front porch yet.
I hear that.
Like I need some diffusing time from wherever I was coming from, like be it home, be it work, be it shopping, you know. Like I need some diffusing time, and that's based off my own needs. You know, like I have some special needs myself, I'm sure. And, you know, like I could be possibly on the spectrum myself, I'm sure. So like, you know, like I really deal with like a lot of sound sensitivity and like just energy sensitivity. So like I feel like overwhelmed. I feel like, you know, super just exhausted, and you know, like. I need that time, that sit down time.
I need it. I hear you.
And you know, my daughter, she used to come meet me out on the porch, and I said to her one day, I was like, "Baby, you know I love you." She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Don't come out here." I said, "Wait until I get in the house. You know, just wait until I get in the house. I know that you're excited to see me, and I'm excited to see you too. It's not personal. I need time, because I need to give that time. Like once I'm here, I'm devoted to all of you. And I just need that time for myself." So like she understands now at her big age of 15. Says that, you know, like chill to her brother all the time. So she's aware of my need, but like she's also like trying to teach in a way that a child will understand to another child. So it's like really interesting how that works.
That is great. Yeah, you need that, because I feel like if you don't, you're right, you won't have that time for yourself.
No, like, it doesn't. It won't happen.
Yeah, I feel like my oldest understood that when I started getting sick, because you know, so if y'all don't know, I have like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. We're not gonna get too deep into it, but it was a time where it was really bad, and when I get sick, there was times where their dad wasn't there, and he just knew like, oh snap, like she's sick, like let's let her breathe. And they would not, and you know, their dad explained it to them, but overall my son just started sensing like once she's sick, know, yo, let's just give her a moment. Like he would come and be like, yo mom, you good? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right. I'm like, can you give me this? Okay. And he would do. Or like, you know, it's like, and then he would get, you know, my youngest would, you know, kind of pick back up off of him. It's so funny because I didn't know, of course, siblings talk. But I never knew they actually did like this little like talk. So like, since we moved up here, they be having literally conversations. Well,
they're all each other got.
Yeah, and it's so funny. They be really having brother talk. Like I even one time, I don't know if I told you, one time walked in on them roasting each other with your mama jokes. I was like, and I'm listening, and they're sitting up. Your mama da da da, and your mama da da. And I'm like, y'all got the same mother.
And it's me, so shut up.
I felt some type of way. Like, y'all dad talking about me. Talking about, oh, your mama's so fat. Wait, what? Like, the nerve, excuse you?
Excuse you.
But, no, they do. And I like that their siblings, no matter what age, it's like, yo, let me chill. chill. Like even with my brother, because we're like 12 years apart.
Mhm.
So even I'm telling you, that was like my first child. But even him, like when it was time my mom needed a moment, I'd be like, yo, come here. Like, come on, you need to chill.
Yeah, I'm an oldest child myself, and that's how I was with my siblings too.
You
just know when your parent needs it, and that's like the burden of an older sibling, though. It's like oh, I'm responsible for this child, you know, like that's the burden of it. But like at the same time, it's like, now what we do from here? So
I don't know. But
I think that, you know, like I'll say with my kids, they have a funny banter between the two of them too, because they're 10 years apart. And, you know, like my daughter will say things that will annoy a 5-year-old, but she thinks they're hilarious. So she'll be like, you look like Poopy. And he's like, oh, you know, like so offended. And she's just like, keeps ribbing on him. And she's just like, you know, going at him. And he's like, Mom, she said I look like Poopies. And I'm like, but do you? And he's like, no. And I said, well, you tell her that she looks like Poopies then. And he's like, no, but that's not nice. I'm like, that's right. I was tricking you. I was seeing if you knew the right answer. And he's like, what do I do?
Like, wait, what do I do?
What do I do then?
Go back at her?
Right.
Like, what?
So I said, I just said to her, said to him, I was like, you just go up to her and say that hurt my feelings. Please don't say that. And then he did, and she was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know that it really hurt your feelings. And he goes, I don't like it. I don't like it. So, you know, like teaching, I think that, you know, that teaching your child how to advocate for themselves is important too, you know, because even if it's like a person that they look at as an authority, you know, like there's things that like my baby says to me sometimes, and he'll say, you know, like, Mommy, I didn't like that you did this, or Mommy, I didn't like this, or, you know, Daddy, I didn't like that. And like, don't do that, you know. And I'm like, you have to follow that, because if you go against it, that's just showing them that they have no power, you know. But like, I mean, all within reason, I think.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, but it's true, because it's like, it's funny. When raising my kids with their dad, the way he was raised is, well, something that he says is like, I'm going to roast my kids so that if anybody ever try to roast them, they got a better comeback. And
I mean, I see that perspective too.
Yeah,
I do.
It's wild though. It is wild though, because I'm like, sometimes I do feel like the him doing that is the fact that I get it, because now they really can just hold it.
Yeah.
But sometimes my youngest, he go off the deep. He goes off the deep end. I'm like, no, like that's
you can't hurt people's feelings like that. Right. You just talked about somebody's, you know, something personal, you know,
and that's the thing, because
they don't know the line until you draw it.
And that's the thing. And I'm like, with my kids, I'm sorry, like we are really, for me personally, I don't do too much joking, because I'm the type of person, if I'm roasting you, I really am going to hit you with I'm a Virgo. I pay attention to so much detail.
Yeah, no, I do too.
So I'll be like, nah.
I don't even play like that because I'm a Virgo, because I've already taken you apart. I've already done it. So I've already taken you apart. Yo. Like, that's how a Virgo is. It's our natural thing. It's like, I've already taken you apart. So I'm going, don't.
I'm not going to hit you with a lie. I'm going to hit you with the truth.
And everything that I see is based off of fact, not fiction.
Okay,
so like, you know, and you know us Virgos, we got our receipts. You'd be like, you know, roast somebody and be like, oh, remember this day back in 99 you did and this you know, like, because a Virgo could really come from way back here and then slam it on the table as a trump card for real, because like it's really.
Yeah, that's why I
don't even argue. Like, when people, if anybody ever tried to argue with me to this day, like, I just laugh. And you see how I'm sitting. This is like,
yeah, you gotta laugh.
Okay.
You gotta laugh.
Is that how you feel? Like, I will wait until somebody goes all the way off, and I'll just literally sit there listening like this, and the second it's done, I'm like, okay, are you done? Okay. And I'll be like, Like,
no, because that ammo. You know how many times I had to really be quiet. Like I told you earlier about what I was about to go on Instagram one time. That's another thing. I was really about to go on Instagram and be like, the nerve, like just, and it wasn't like to trash the person, but just like, do you know how much of a savage I can shred you apart, and it's because like, especially when you know yourself,
yeah.
and like the situation at hand, like say for instance, you went out and you look good, and the person was like, oh, but they dress was ripped. You a whole lot where and like, where like. You know you lying because you told me I look good all day, and you was looking at me all day. Like that's the type of energy. So it's like, yeah, I'm telling y'all right now, no matter Virgo, definitely don't argue with no Virgo man either, because y'all think Virgo women could go off. A Virgo
petty. They so petty.
Yeah. So please.
I dated a Virgo man one time, and I thought it was gonna be great. And I'm going back like probably about 15, 20 years, so
yeah,
nothing recent. But it was funny is because when I met him, I was like, oh, he's a Virgo. We gonna vibe. And then like the conversation was lit. Like we got along really well. And then like we had an argument, and like any people would, yo.
Yeah.
He pettied me so hard. I was like, yo. Like, I was just like, I don't think this gonna work. I flew. It was a long distance relationship. I was in New York, and at the time they were in Atlanta. I flew home off of it. I was like, oh, my feelings is hurt. I never talked to him again because he out-pettied me so hard. Like, I had never been so disrespected. And it was like it was like he said some really like below the belt stuff. But the below the belt stuff, I mean, did I find it to be true? I didn't, but I was like, whoa, this is your observation of me?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Because a Virgo, that's why our like energy when we go hard is so ferocious, is because we are not telling you something out the sky. We're telling you something we thought we never spoke on before.
Yeah, that's a fact. I had a friend like that. I had a Virgo friend, right, in high school, and we were like this. We were like freaking frag type vibes. She got mad because I started dating a friend of hers, which was weird because I was like, okay, whatever.
It wasn't.
Huh?
It wasn't a boyfriend. It was just a friend.
No, it was a friend that she grew up with. But the thing was, he reached out to me. I don't know. Maybe she had feelings for him on a low. I don't freaking know. But anyways, the whole time she was a little like, she wasn't heavy set, but she was a bit on a thicker, chunkier side. But she had a smell. But I'm like, that's the thing about me, like, because I'm a Virgo, I know I could be very judgy, but I would never. I'm so also like paying attention to myself. If I had any flaws, I would never want to call nobody else's flaws out because I know it will hurt. Like
so, but I'm observant of them, but I won't speak on it, right? Until you got me fucked up.
And the funny thing was, to this day, till now, I never even we all talked about it, but as to her face, I never said to her, that's why you stayed out. And I probably could have went hard on her, but I didn't. Because she tried to go she went so hard on me. And I was like, you seriously? And every time I could even try to snap back at her, she'd run away. And I'm like, you know what? You got serious issues. And you must think, like, almost like a competition vibe. Like,
but unfortunately, I will say Virgos are competitive.
Yeah.
We are competitive. And it's so funny. Like, so with that being said, being the fact that we're both Virgos, I find it so funny that you really have to have the right mix of Virgo to even be friends with another Virgo. Because there's Virgos that I be seeing, I'm like, I don't fuck with you. I don't want to fuck with you.
Right?
Right?
No, real talk.
Right, because that's how some Virgos be, for real. But like, I think it's like our blends, they just vibe. And I think that because our Venus sign is the same and our Mars sign is air and fire, I think that's why we get along so well.
Yeah. Because I don't know what the rest of them was. Like, I don't think I ever had other Virgo friends, to be honest. Like, I think another prospect, I dated Virgo, he was like, ugh. Like, he was cool in the beginning, but then it was alright, bye. You know, he left me, but whatever. Dramatic ass. But, yeah, it was another Virgo I ran into, and I didn't even know she was Virgo, because it's so weird. I knew her around when I was in my rough times, y'all. But anyways, when I found out she was a Virgo, I was like, you rough. And we call her, I don't even say it because she know we call her.
Don't say it. Don't be calling nobody out. You don't know who be listening.
But you know what it is? I don't want to call her by her name, but everybody know her as her nickname, the one that fought Craig.
Oh, yes. Yep. We already know.
But anyway, oh well, because what's she going to do? I'm not going to front, because I always, and that's the funny thing, because she was like that, and I get it, because a lot of people make fun of her and stuff like that. Me personally, it was like, yo, you just do a little too much for me, that's all. And we might not connect. And it's not nothing personal. It's just like, you do too much, you move a certain way that I personally don't move, and that's fine. But she tried to check me one day, and I had to stand my ground. She wanted me, it was so funny, because the person I was with, I was like, you just need to stand up to her. And he was a grown man. I was like, you just need to stand up to her. I was like, she was banging on the door, like, boo, boo, boo. And I was like, he's not here. She's like, open up. I said no. And she's like, what you mean no? I said no. I want to be alone and do my own thing. And she got mad. And I was like, I'm not opening the door. But he ended up finally opening the door. And she tried to get in my face. And I seen, and you know what's so funny? Because I know
I'm like,
Virgos, we are like, so like, we thinking ahead even in the midst of it. In the midst of her trying to get in my face, I'm like, yo, you really not going to fight me. In the midst of us going back and forth, I'm literally seeing everything in the back that I could hit her with. Because I know, I ain't going to lie, she was, but I'm like, yo, it's a pot right there. It's a hot plate. It's a TV. I know with a good amount of shit I could whack her.
Yeah, because Virgos will always have a plan.
I had to.
I have to have a plan.
Because I was like, I don't know what type of mood she on.
You can have a plan and it could change. Like, you can change it on the fly. And that's you know, like the mantra of Virgos, I analyze. You know, like I'm very good at thinking, and you know, like my Virgo, my Mercury is also in Virgo, so like that's the mind, the communication, travel.
Yeah, mine is too. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, very good at getting your point across, but it's like you can be quite critiquing, you're like big on critiquing others. Yeah. So like anytime I catch that, because you know I'm human, everybody's human. Like I'll be like observant of somebody, and I like give them once over, and like if I hear any negative, like, oh, this person I'll be like, okay, well, you spotted, you got it, what on you with aligns with that, you know, like you're aware of that, so you could see it, what do you got going on. So it's always a callback, you know, like within my big age now, like I've definitely grown with that for sure.
And that's what I've been, every time you tell me, I be like, you know what, and that's something I really be mindful of now. But now it's just, if I see now, I don't know, I guess where I'm at now, I'm just like, if you gonna be high vibing, we gonna be high vibing too. If you're not, please step out my way.
Yeah.
That's all I
ask. Right.
But that's all we got.
That's all we got.
Y'all got a lot today.
We look forward to chatting with you next time.
Yep,
it's always a pleasure.
Word, definitely.
I love chatting with you, girl. It's so fun.
Right, like you guys, I got the vibes today. So yeah, until next time. Later.
Peace.